Hello, class. This is Marcos, and I'm following up on yesterday's class where we presented our design development decks in our teams, and wanted to just give you a quick briefing on next steps so that everyone's ready for our next class session. So basically, we all had a chance to speak and share work on yesterday in our class session, and got good feedback both from myself and from your fellow classmates. So now is the time that you are to kind of think about everything that was said and kind of take in the feedback. And it's not a matter of just following every suggestion you got, obviously. It's a matter of you thinking about what works best for your idea, what you think is going to make them the most successful design execution, and to take in what you had. It doesn't mean you have to listen to anything. If you feel like the way you're going is great, that's fine, but it's worth the consideration. And there were lots of good suggestions. So I think that everyone has something to think about in terms of how to proceed with their design. So over this next week, as we go into part 4, which is called Design Finalization, it's going to be about getting close to completion. It's not about finishing quite yet. We have another week after this, but it's about getting close and having a good idea of the vision of your book being realized, while also having the opportunity to continue to work on it for one more week. So continue to develop your design and work towards completing all the pages, and the cover and back is the goal for this week. And then next Thursday, we're going to share it in a review session. And I'm thinking it's either going to be individual or it might be a couple of people in pairs. Maybe we'll do the pairs. I'm not sure yet, but I'll send out a schedule on Thursday, but plan for a session. And throughout the week, make sure as you need to share your work with me, ask questions, send a quick Slack, email me. Or if you're stuck and you want to have a session, just let me know and we can schedule a quick one. I want to be available at any time. Well, not any time, but any reasonable time for each of you, as quick as possible, to be able to not be stuck or have a question you need. But I feel like everyone's kind of past that sort of stuck phase, and now they're well into your work and you've got great ideas and you're making good progress. You may need help on a decision, on which way to go, so that you don't have to continue with not knowing the best route. So that is probably going to be why you'll need to reach out, but do reach out as you need. And then what I want to do is to complete the work and then to update your full presentation as you prepare for the week after next review session that has your full complete book. But if we look at the schedule here, we can see in the gray that we've gotten the first 3 parts of the project done. As of last night, we did our development presentation. And now here in white, we're going to be working next week for part 4 for the design finalization phase. We'll have our review session, and then we'll have one more week to complete the design. And at the end of part 5, we'll have a more formal presentation. So not only will you need to finish your book layouts, but also have your full deck ready to go and in a way that you can present your book concept. For that part 5 session, I'm going to see about maybe dividing the class in half and having 2 sessions so that everyone gets to see more, and inviting anyone that wants to be part of the full session if you want to see everybody's work. And I may see if I can find someone to be a second reviewer, so that we have a chance to review with somebody who hasn't seen any of the work we've done together, and give you that kind of feedback, that first impression, that sort of more kind of golden feeling of how is your work looking, without having gone through that full process and doing the deliberating that we've been doing. And then after that, there's one more part. It's just really about packaging your files and getting them to me a week after the design completion. Most everyone probably will be able to do that right away after part 5, but just in this part 6 gives a little extra week cushion for everyone in case someone's behind and just needs a little more time to finish But in that part 6, in that same week, we'll be starting part 1 of our next project. So projects will overlap. So it's not a pure full week to work on it. So don't be fooled. It's just a little extra time in case. So on the Canvas, I've posted the assignment, which is basically to continue your progress, take in your feedback, move forward towards finishing all the spreads, or not necessarily finishing, but having all the spreads laid out in a way where you can start looking at the full book. As I talked about last night, it's also about starting to consider your text further, looking at how the writing is working. I want you to read out loud to yourself or to somebody else in your family or your friend circle to see how this text is sounding, to make sure you refine that as much as you can, and to continue to stay inside both the head and the world of your audience, which is both a toddler or an infant, as well as to the caregiver, a parent, a mom, a dad, a grandparent, a babysitter. Think about the person potentially who's going to be executing the reading of this book, and implementing the experience, and how your text and your full book can help make that effective and enjoyable. So the goal is for you to have a good sense of your design ready to look at next week. It still could be about having options, and these options should be getting more and more subtle. It's not really the big broad options of what's your idea or what's your concept or what's your style. It's more about little details of how you can best implement your style and best take advantage of what your ideas are, and also it's about thinking about how you can deepen and improve what you're doing. You may have a certain thing laid out, but there might be a whole other layer or level of idea or concept that could make the book even better. So stay open, be available for what might be new and different. It's not like that can't happen. Because again, the goal is that each of you are trying to create the best effort, a book that's going to really represent a deep, thoughtful process, which we've been engaged in, that ends up in a simple book that provides a great experience. So keep your eye on the prize, keep your standards high, continue to think about how you can really make your book the best it can be. Again, feedback anytime, reach out to me, and I put the Google Drive for your folders. And remember to continue to keep that there. If you didn't post yesterday's in the drive, please do it now, because I'll be doing the attendance and assignments soon. And if your deck isn't on the Google Drive, then that costs you from getting full points. And I want everyone to get full points, so please do that, and make sure each week has a deck in it, or your work. And here's where you can find that. Everyone's got this shared part 4. Please put it in here, and I think that's it. So everyone's been doing really great, and I'm excited about the progress we're making, and look forward to the next stage. And I will be sending out the schedule for our next class session. But in the meantime, reach out to me as needed, and I'll be talking to you soon.